Hey everybody, it's Dr. Josh Levitt here. I'm at the office and I have some food for thought for you today. The food that we're going to be thinking about is the food of spices and medicinal herbs. You've probably got little bottles, little glass circular shaped bottles in a spice rack in your cabinet somewhere. They're readily available at every grocery store in America these days. And I want to share with you a little bit of history, something to think about the next time you grind some fresh ground pepper onto your salad or put a sprinkle of whatever herb or spice you're going to use in your cooking. Now, these spices have been a major driver of the global economy, really, for thousands of years. It's remarkable to think that explorers set off for distant lands in search of spices, new flavors for their food and for medicine. They were also inciting wars. I think there's wars that were incited in distant lands over things like nutmeg. And black pepper was once worth its weight in gold and used even as currency. It's really remarkable. And today we don't think anything of it. Sprinkling a little of this or a little of that, buying a small jar of something for a recipe in our kitchen. But in fact, these spices have been super important to humanity since really the beginning of time. Now, in a medical context, they're equally important as well. And we have the benefit of having access to unbelievable spices that, like I say, in history, people risked life and limb to go and get. Let's just talk about a few of them and the value that they have in a process called inflammation. Inflammation, as you've undoubtedly heard of, is a major driver of disease and symptoms in a clinical context. And there's many of the spices, humble spices on your own spice rack right now that can effectively address inflammation. In some cases as well or better than pharmaceuticals that are used to treat the same problem. I'm going to give you a short list. Number one, and probably atop the list for good reason, is turmeric, curcuma longa. It's a yellow powder, an Indian spice, widely known for its anti-inflammatory activity. It happens to be the active ingredient or one of the active ingredients in AI4X, and we love it for that. Dozens of different anti-inflammatory compounds, many of which compete with or outperform non-steroidal anti-inflammatory medications. Several other anti-inflammatory spices that can be used, and you probably already have. Cayenne pepper is one. Ginger, another. Many different anti-inflammatory compounds in ginger. It also serves as an anti-nausea, sort of motion sickness medication. Cinnamon also decreases levels of some inflammatory compounds, and then that confers its blood sugar lowering and anti-inflammatory activities. Cloves that are used to make your spiced apple cider and apple pies and sort of fall harvest flavor. Also, anti-inflammatory activities coming from a number of different biological compounds in cloves, as well as sage and rosemary, and the list goes on and on and on. Simple spices, include them into your cooking, include them into your life, and think for a moment when you do about the rich history that these spices confer. So have a spicy day, take good care.